Hello, hello. Hello. Oh, hello. Chance, hello. Chance is here. Good to see you guys. Come in, come in, come in. Hello, Linda. And greetings to Tim as well. Hi, Rhonda. Hello, Ruth. And Cindy. Cindy's always one of the first ones here. I appreciate that. I do. What? What? So I have a question for you guys. I bought this. You know, I'm always willing to try something new. Well, okay, come here. Come here. I'm frequently willing to try something new. And I want to have some cream in my coffee again. So I bought this stuff called super cream. Have any of you heard of that? Hi, Peggy. Have any of you heard of super cream? It's in the health food section at the grocery store. It has MCT oil in it. I'm familiar with MCT oil. I understand that. Have any of you heard of that? I bought some. Hello, Evelyn. Who else did I miss? Hi, Terry. Hi, Connie. Hello, hello. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Janet. Good to see you. Janet, how are things going for you? I think of you very, very often. Hope you're doing okay. Hi, Sheila. Hope you're doing okay. Anyway, I'd never tried it, so I thought, well, I'll try it. It sounded good. Well, it's like thick. Okay, Janet. Good. One day at a time. One day at a time. Sometimes one moment at a time. It's like thick. How can cream, if you're going to pour, it's half and half. It's labeled half and half. Super half and half, I think it was. If it's labeled that, wouldn't you think it would pour? It's like thick. And it doesn't stir up well in the coffee. That's very weird. It's very weird. I'll show you. You ready for this? I mean, it looks like it's spoiled. It doesn't smell spoiled. Look, who wants to drink that? Yeah, so I put the lid back on it so I don't have to see it. Is that weird? Ugh. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think it's going to go. I think that was $6 that I'm going to just have to say, oops, oh well. Is that weird? Ugh, I know. Wouldn't drink that. It's not bad. Yeah, exactly. I know. I know. Yuck is right. Anyway, I just wondered if anybody here had heard of it. Anyway, I'll set it over here for now. If I get desperate, I'll drink some more of it. It's just weird. I thought I was doing something good for myself. Well, maybe not. Anyway, Chance is here. Yes, he is. And spring has absolutely evaporated here. Don't drink that. It's not spoiled, though. The date on it's not till May. You know, and it doesn't smell spoiled. It's just coagulated. It's just like chunky. It's just like chunky. You like get to chew and drink your coffee at the same time. It's a snack and a drink all in one. Actually, it's a twofer. Yeah. It's coffee. Yeah, it's coffee. Did it snow in Indiana, Terry? Ugh. I did. Ruth, I got out a whisk and I whisked it. I tried a spoon. I tried a fork. I got a whisk. Nothing. I think I need to strain it. But who has time to strain their coffee? I mean, that shouldn't happen. Anyway, in my stuff that I went through, one of the things that the Studley Duck and I like to do is we like to pick out greeting cards. Okay. Actually, it's not that we like to pick them out as much as it is we like to stand at the card racks, the silly card racks, and sounds like he's dying, doesn't it? But he's not. Anybody want a Siamese cat? He's sitting over here by himself. He's just sitting on the floor over to my right. He's just sitting there and he's just complaining. That's all he's doing. I know I should buy half and half. I was trying to do something really good for myself. Oh, an immersion blender. I do have one of those. That probably would work. I have one of those little tiny ones. I bet that would work. Good thought, Ruth. I should go do that right now. I had you on my lap. Anyway, so one of the things I started to say that we like to do is we like to buy cards. The Studley Duck actually likes to buy cards. I just like to give them to him. And so, the sillier the card, the better we both like it. We have been known to stand at a card rack, especially in Colorado. There's a store out there. We have been known to stand there and crack up and laugh and laugh and laugh at these dumb cards. Hey, Judy. No, he's not letting me know that he missed me. He is making me pay for going away. That's what he's doing. Hello, ARH. Just make cheese out of it. It is kind of cheese looking. I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. So anyway, I found this when I was going through all the stuff that I showed you the other day. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to make myself go get a new mat. I just cannot seem to remember to go get a new mat, so you guys get to look at this cruddy mat all the time. Anyway, I thought you guys would get a charge out of this. Anybody that knows Dee Dee Willingham, Inkywell or Inkwell on social media, who streams Mondays and Wednesdays early in the morning. She does a lot of Barbie doll photography and stuff. I know, Rhonda. I know. I don't buy them. He does. I just thought this was really funny. So it's a Barbie and Ken dressed up in, they have white hair. One happy birthday. Once we were young and hip. Now we just need new ones. So anyway, it was in the stuff. So I thought I would share that with you before I give it back. Because none of my friends are old enough for that to be true. I thought it was funny. Yes, so I got up this morning. I know, right? That I thought was funny. There was another one. We bought some other ones when we were in one of the towns, and I think it was Australia. We went in the post office in Richmond. I think it was Richmond Village. Richmond. What was it? Yeah, it was Richmond. It was on one of the tours that we were on, bus tour. And we were in Richmond, and it was a neat little town. And we found the post office, and we went in there, and they had a whole. I've never been in a post office like this before. It's like it was like a gift shop / post office. It was mostly post office, but it was also gift shop, and they had toys and lots and lots of greeting cards, like 2 racks of greeting cards, and they were good ones. They were good ones. Some of them were a little racy, but oh gosh, they were funny. So we stood there and laughed, and that's where that one came from. Hello, Hermie. It was pretty funny. Anyway, are you? No. Okay. About half the time he's got. Anyway, Yes. So what was I saying? Yeah, I got up this morning and it was in the 30s. It has been in the 30s all day long. Cold, crazy temperatures. It started cooling off yesterday and it got nice and chilly last night. Supposed to get another hard freeze tonight. So I am really ready for spring. It's like, what? It was 90 degrees a few days ago where I was, and then I came back and I'm back into, needing to put on long sleeves and sweaters, and I'm like, my body does not know what season it's in nor what time it is yet, and it's crazy. All right, do you think you could, I guess you'll just be here for a little while. He is still, he's still driving me a little crazy. He is totally attached to me at the hip, on my lap, or any other thing. He just is clingy, so clingy. Yesterday evening, Studley Duck was over here, and we had gone for a long walk out by the river, and we came back here, and I didn't have any food to fix for dinner. And so I just dug stuff out. We had toast. We had cinnamon toast for dinner. And what else? Fruit. We had some leftover fruit. Oh, I have a shortcut for you for sweet petals in case anybody's interested. And so we were eating a bunch of just, stuff. And Chance was driving us crazy. Just driving us crazy. He kept sitting on the floor and getting on the stool beside me, and he finally managed to jump on my lap and stretch himself across onto Studley Duck's lap, and so he's got half his body on each of us, and then he was very happy. It's like, well, Chance, it's all about you, bud. It's all about you. I know, cinnamon toast is good. 24 degrees. There's something wrong with that, Whop biscuits. What's a whop biscuit? I don't even know that. Hey, Barbara. Hello. What is a whop biscuit, Ruth? I've never even heard of that before. I've never heard of that. Oh, he's just a crazy cat, this cat. Oh, my goodness. So the shortcut for sweet petals, in case those of you don't know what sweet petals are, I'll give you the short version of sweet petals. It is a family favorite in our family that we've done for years. And I used to stream it every Christmas Eve. And Clausman would help, and there were a couple of years that Christy was here, my granddaughter was here, and that was before she was married, and she was still in school, so she was here, and Race was home, and so they helped one year. And so what they are is you make the bread dough, which is a buttermilk. I use a buttermilk bread recipe, and then they're so high in calories you don't dare do them very often because they are packed with not good stuff, but they taste delicious. And so then you make the bread dough, and then after it's risen and it's done all the regular yeast bread dough stuff, then you cut it into little balls, roll them into snakes. You dip each snake into melted butter, must be real butter, and a combination of brown sugar, white sugar, and cinnamon. And some people like to put nuts in. I don't like to do that. But anyway, so you dip them in one, dip them in the other, and then you start in the middle of the pan, whatever size pan you have, and you coil it in the middle, and then you do each little snake thing going around, building it out from the center. So it ends up building and looking kind of like a flower if you use your imagination. You whop the can on the counter to open it. Oh, I don't like those cans, Ruth. They scare me. Whop biscuit. I had never even heard of those. Anyway, so the shortcut is because the Studley Duck volunteered me. What? I see you. What do you want? Well, what? Your eyes kind of look kind of cruddy. Shall we clean you up since you're on display for the whole world tonight? Shall we clean you up a little bit? Now you look a little bit better. Yes, you're still a handsome man. You're a handsome man. You're a handsome old man. He turned 17 while I was gone. Yes, he did. 17. Happy birthday. I bet you don't feel a day over 16. Do you? You do? Anyway, so we had treats to supply for our Sunday school class, and I don't know in what universe it made sense to sign up for that 4 days after we got back from this trip, but Studley Duck signed us up. And so he said, as we're trying to figure out what to fix on Friday night, we were trying to plan it. We're walking around the store, and he said, well, you could just make sweet petals. And he was kind of half kidding. And I said, well, yeah. And we also had a wedding to go to Saturday night. So there was a very limited amount of time where this was going to be possible. And I said, the only way we can do that is if we use a shortcut. And I remembered that I think it was my granddaughter Christy's family that they used to make them out of the frozen rolls, the frozen yeast rolls by Rhodes. And so we got 2 bags of those Rhodes, which is RHODES, Rhodes rolls, dinner rolls. And so we got 2 bags of those, thawed them out, and so that, it's a yeast dough, and I cut each one of them in half. I did this early Saturday morning, and so you cut each one of them in half, roll out the snakes, and do the whole rest of the thing. The dough, they're not quite as good, but it's a darn close second. And you bake them, and 119 in dog years. Well, now you know why he's so demanding. A 119-year-old human is pretty demanding. Anyway, Papa Mama biscuits. That's pretty funny. Oh. Yeah. Hi, Marty. Okay. Anybody that I missed coming in, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Oh, so anyway, they worked out really well. And 2 bags of Rhodes dinner rolls. Hold on a second. I got to correct something on my computer. Okay, we're good. 2 bags of Rhodes dinner rolls made 4 pans. They were like kind of a cake pan, kind of almost a 9x13. These are the foil ones that you buy that have the plastic lid. It made 4 of those, and I have a pizza pan. It's an old pizza pan that must be a 16, maybe 14-inch diameter. Ugh, cat hair. Pizza pan, and it made that whole pan full, and then I threw away 2 rolls that I didn't have room for. Anyway, they turned out pretty well, other than the fact that the cinnamon sugar kind of bubbled up and went on the bottom of the oven, and I thought, oh no, this is gonna set off my smoke alarm. So I quick opened the window and turned on the oven fan. And I saved myself setting off smoke alarms. Anyway, okay, bud, you gotta go. Anyway, so if anybody wants a shortcut for sweet petals, there you go. You got it. Taste-wise, the dough is not quite as good. I mean, the overall effect is not... When you're used to the buttermilk, the tang of the buttermilk from the bread mix, because that's what I use is that buttermilk bread recipe, it's not quite as good, but there wasn't anybody in Sunday school that turned it down, let me tell you. Well, I did 2 pans. I got up Sunday morning and I timed it so that I could put them in the oven, warm them up just enough, and then I put them inside of a towel, like a bath towel, to keep them warm. And then went to Sunday school and set them on the counter so they were still warm. So, I mean, it's hard to turn down a warm cinnamon roll, you know. People liked them. They went through one pan and into the second pan with no problem whatsoever. And then we also had fruit for them. And then Studley Duck teaches fourth grade boys. And I said, take these to your fourth graders, because do not bring them back home to me. You can take them to your house, but you don't need to bring them to me. And so he took them to the fourth grade kids, and they ate them right on up. So none of them came back home, so nobody complained. Your channel is popping up on my feed, shooing. I don't know what that is. It is a sweet petal hack. You're right, Ruth. Showing 8-year-old streams. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I don't know. I think it has to do more with I think it has to do more with subject matter than it does timing. No, I don't teach. I just, all I did was supply treats. I don't teach. Yeah. So, sweet petals are what I make at Christmas time for Christmas treat. And so, I don't make them any other time of the year unless it's for some big gathering. Once in a while I'll do them for Easter, but, you know, I got Studley Duck just volunteered me. So what can you say? Could you, why are you back? I got you off of here. Come on. All right, you go find a place to lay down. All right, so let's go through, all the junk that I saved. It's not junk. It's memorabilia. It's, what is it? I don't know what it is. All the stuff that I collected that most ordinary people would throw away, except for you and me and anybody else that does. We were walking down a sidewalk, and this was when we were on the trip. We were walking down a sidewalk, and on the sidewalk, the light caught something that was, you know, reflecting on the sidewalk, and I think it was a cutout, like a mylar shape of it was probably a tag of some kind. It was the shape of a little girl or something. And I'm telling you, it was all I could do not to bend over and pick that up. I even said to Studley Duck, I said, you know, if I was a real junk journaler, I would take that home. But I'm going to leave it here for somebody else who is. So anyway. Hello, Judy. Ephemera. Yes, that's what it is. Collage fodder. Yeah, all of that. Okay. So let's go through all this, shall we? And we'll just sort of sort it. And then I thought what we might do is see if we might decorate the outside of this album that I'm going to put all this stuff in. Okay, so this is all the junk I brought home. Okay, this is all the junk I brought home with me, I think, unless I have more that I haven't identified. And that which if I find more, I'll add it to the stuff. And believe me, this is in no way any of the pictures that I have on my phone. I have several hundred pictures on my phone, which I will do on the little stickers, probably. It's probably what I'll do. It would be better for me if I got sticker paper, yeah, and set it up on the computer, but yeah, that may not happen. Anyway, okay, so let's go through all this stuff and you'll see what I saved, okay? Hello, Orange. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So this is immigration information. So this is from the cruise line. I just thought it was interesting because I had never gone through immigration before, and so I saved it. Anybody else would throw it away. I think most people would throw it away. I saved it, so we're gonna put it over there. We'll just go through this bit by bit, shall we? This was interesting. There were 2 nights in a row that this is one of the reasons that I don't know what time it is yet. Because 2 nights in a row, this was left in our cabin that said, tonight the ship's clocks will move backward 1 hour. Okay? 2 nights in a row. Why didn't they just do 2 hours one night and be done with it? But no, they did it 2 nights. And then by the time we came back to the U.S., not only did we leave on one day and arrive the same day coming back, but then the time had also changed here, but had gone the opposite direction. No, we don't have a date set. Not yet. So anyway, I thought that was, but I did find that interesting that, yeah. This was from a coffee someplace that we went. Oh no, it was ice. Yeah, it was coffee. We had ice cream for lunch a couple of times and coffee, and I thought that was just such a neat. I peeled it off the cardboard. Okay, we're now gonna let Chance go in his room. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, come on, come on. There you go. Come on. All right, enjoy your evening. I can only deal with the whining feline just so long. Okay, back to the thing at hand. So we had ice cream for lunch a couple of times. And in this place, it was Swiss ice cream. Okay, we're in Australia at this point. It was Swiss ice cream. Which I thought it was really good too, by the way. And we also had coffee. Interesting fun fact about Australia, at least where we were, you cannot buy anywhere that we were. Sorry, cat hair is getting me. There was no place that we went anywhere in Australia, and I realized we didn't go every place. In New Zealand was the same. You could not buy drip coffee like we have here in the States, like in any restaurant. Here in the States, they'll have a coffee pot, drip coffee, and they pour coffee in the cup. They don't have that. And at least none of the places where we were, you bought espresso, you bought latte, you bought Americano. They said, in this place where we were, at this ice cream place, said, it's like clearly they had answered this question before, because the person right after us said, I just want a cup of coffee. I don't want long black, tall black, flat white, Americano, latte, cappuccino. They said, we don't want any of that. We just want coffee. And she said, that's very American and we don't do that here. I don't know if that's typical or not, but anyway, I had to laugh at that. I had to laugh. I just had to laugh. I thought that was really funny. Anyhow, so I saved that because I thought it was cool. I don't know why. These ribbons, the group that we were traveling with, everybody in the group, there were 14 of us, and everybody in the group was given the number of ribbons that you had pieces of luggage, and you were to tie these ribbons on the luggage so that when your luggage went through the carousel, in whatever place we were, it was easy for all of us to pick each other's luggage up off of the carousel. I thought that was pretty smart, actually. As long as you didn't have ribbons like anybody else, it was a good plan. Lovely and loud. He is loud. Sometimes he's lovely, sometimes not. I know. Isn't that funny, though? Isn't that funny about the coffee? If anybody watches is from Australia, let me know if that's true. Oh, I am sorry to blow my nose in front of you. The cat hair is just crazy right now. Anyway, there was something I was going to say, but I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. Let's see. There were times when they like to organize you in groups, especially like the immigration thing where you had to get off and go through immigration. That was weird, by the way. That was very weird. When we got into Australia, the ship docked. We had to get off the ship, go through these windy things back and forth, hand them this immigration thing that we'd filled out, and then go back on the ship. They had to look at our passports, do that, and go back on the ship. And I'm like, it took a while, and I did not understand the purpose of it. Anyway. The Americano is like an individually dripped coffee with espresso. I don't know. I do like it, so it's fine. But it was just crazy that you couldn't buy just plain old cup of coffee. To me, it was weird. I don't know. Somebody will have to let me know in the comments if that's the way it is. So anyway, to get 1,900 people to go through this process, they gave everybody numbers, and I don't remember why we ended up with number 32, but if they called your number, then you got to go. You had to proceed to the gangway. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds a little sketchy, doesn't it? Going to the gangway? Like, walk the plank? Yeah. We had luggage tags. You had to print out the luggage tag. Okay, let me tell you how stupid I was. Okay, you ready for how stupid I was? Don't smuggling snakes. That's New Zealand. New Zealand doesn't have snakes. This is how dumb I was, okay? They send you these, okay? They send you these email, okay? And we had luggage tag holders. All right, let me show you this. This is part of the luggage tag. Okay, this is the luggage tag. You print it out like this. And I was too dumb to know how to make it work with the plastic luggage tag holder that I was given to use. And so it took me a while to realize. I kept thinking I had to cut this apart. No. If you just follow the instructions, you fold it like this, and you fold it like that, and you fold it like this, and you shove it in the plastic thing, and then attach it to your suitcase. But I was so tired. Excuse me. I was so tired by the time it came to the point of putting the tags on my luggage. I was so tired that my brain was not functioning at all. But I thought, I'm going to save one of these stupid things because that is how dumb I was. Really dumb. Anyway, yeah, luggage tags. You print it out on one sheet of paper. equals 1 luggage tag. Goodness, sometimes my own brilliance amazes me. And then this was this item has been approved to carry on board for your flight with you today. Remember, once on board, any carry-on luggage should be placed in the overhead compartment or under the seat in front of you. And I thought, yeah, that's the first time I'd had that done like that. And I thought, well, that was it's kind of a pretty color. These were from some of the trips that we went on. I don't know which one. We almost got left on one of the tours. Studley Duck and I almost got left 2 times on the same tour. I'll tell you all about that at some point. Yeah. The bus driver was real frustrated with us. It was not entirely my fault. We got some postcards, and I thought those would be fun to include in this. And since I have them, the Studley Duck isn't going to get to... possession is 9/10 of the law, right? So we bought these we were on the 89th floor of this thing in Melbourne called the Sky Deck. The 89th floor, you go up this super fast lift, which is an elevator, and you can see the city 360-degree view. If you have any problems whatsoever with heights, it's not a good place to go. There is a section of this thing which you have to pay for, this Sky Deck. There's a section of it you have to pay for. We did not. But it's a room, and this room goes out. Out, okay, away from the Sky Deck, and it's glass. And then the floor, which is also glass, goes from opaque to transparent, so you look down. I said, not a chance. Not a chance I'm doing that. Anyway, we bought these in the Sky Deck. So postcards are always good to add to things. That's the Sydney Opera House in the whatever that bridge is. I can't remember. Anyway, so a few postcards, and then this is the kind of stuff I really like. It's these, these bands like this, belly band type things. Anyway, for the Sky Deck. So there's that. That's right, Ruth. That's right. We got to read those card racks. Sometimes what I enjoy doing also in my journals, just my regular journal, is taking the boarding passes and using parts of those. One of the neat things that we did was hop on, hop off. See that? Hop on, hop off right there. And it's a bus that goes all around the city, and you buy the pass for 1 or 2 days, depending on what you want. And so you could, as long as you keep this, it would get you back on the bus for, in our case, 24 hours. It was a pretty cool way to do that. Anyway, stuff like that is cool. This was just luggage tag stuff. Some of this stuff means absolutely nothing to anyone else. It means I went on a trip. It means I went on a trip. So I'm going to save it. This was Hobart, and Hobart is Tasmania, in Tasmania. And that was a very, very cool place to go. And most of the places that we went, there was some kind of map. And I like stuff like that. I like having the map. I'll have to figure out some creative way for including the maps in my little book. See, another. Now, mind you, okay, let me explain something to you real carefully. I don't read a map worth a bean, okay? You could tell me, I will spend my whole time. It's one of the reasons we were late getting back to the tour bus, because I kept looking at the map going, where do you think we are? Because I don't do well with maps at all. And apparently Studley Duck doesn't either. Although he says he does, but I'm not sure. I'm not convinced, because neither one of us figured out where we were in the zoo in Sydney until the tour guide came running after us and telling us to get our butts back on that bus. We said we would, but we don't know where we are, nor do we know how to get out of here. And he says, follow me. Got it. We will. Anyway, so actually maps I think are a great way to decorate things. So I will have my little stash of maps here. Okay. We had key cards for getting into the room. This was our key card to get into the room. It told us valuable information. You had to have this card to get on and off the ship. You had to have this card to get in and out of your room. You had to have this card for every single thing. So if you lost this card, you're going to be in big trouble. So I kept those. Hello, Barbara Chicken Pot Pie. This was in New Zealand, and I forgot what it was we did. Dunedin Railways. I've forgotten. I have to go back. It's a boarding pass. I'll have to go back and read my journal. That is one reason I journaled as much as I did, because I knew I would not remember. I could barely remember the day, let alone what country I was in. This I got a book in New South Wales. This was in Australia. So this kind of thing is good for backgrounds, and so I kept this bag. Here's another one of those. We got 2 packages of those postcards. So I have 2 of these. I know. 2 little belly band things. This was from the gal that made these. She did all kinds of pottery. This is from, I think she said this is from mud that she dug there. She calls it wild mud. She also threw pots with a wheel with a different kind of mud. This mud that she used, that mud that I just showed you that heart was made of, that she could not throw because it had so much, you could tell by the texture in it. You see all the texture in that piece. That's not just a finish. You can see it on the backside even more. See all the stuff in there? If she had thrown a pot with that, it would have wrecked her hands. And so that was interesting, I thought. Anyway, so in case you didn't follow her, she is on Instagram.com/wild_mud. So she's on Instagram if you want to follow her. Okay, some other things I got. This was a little notepad that was in the room. And so I thought I will use that for, I don't know, making journaling or something. I'm sorry if I'm missing things that you guys are saying. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but I know I'm missing some of it. I'm drinking my chunky coffee as we go. So this one day, this executive chef did a cooking demonstration. He did it a couple of times. And so this was the dish. This was on the ship that he demonstrated how to do this fish. And there was the recipe and how he prepared it, how he plated it, and so forth. And I thought, oh, That's good. Now, this kind of thing like this is not going to fit exactly inside this book. You can see that it's too big. And so what I do with stuff like this, if I want to keep it like this, which a lot of times I do, I will take this to my color printer, which is not far from me, the El Cheapo HP, old but still hanging in there, printer. And I will print this, but I'll reduce it in size. And then I'll just make like the same thing, but in miniature. And I plan to do that same thing with my passport. Make it as a little tiny miniature, because I'd never had a passport before. It was very exciting that I had my first passport. I know, pathetic, but anyway. So here was another, I think this was another map or something. I don't know, it was something I picked up. And some of these things, I won't need all of it. I won't keep all of it. Perhaps I will just use bits and pieces of it, but it's kind of map-like. So I'll put it in the map section. And this was one of the napkins that they passed out at one of the bars that we were in, the piano bar that we went to every night where the kids played the piano. They were so good. This was, I think we rode this. Anyway, another postcard. So I'm just sort of sticking things together as I go. More maps. This was a neat cathedral that we went into in Auckland. This cathedral, it was absolutely beautiful inside, and there was a small church. This little church right here, I think this was the one that was located across the street from the cathedral, and they moved this church across the street after they built the cathedral. I think I'm remembering this right. This was 3 weeks ago, and then they attached them together. But they had a whole big thing about moving this church. It was pretty cool. There had a lot of people there that were people that were so good about answering questions and all of that. This was another one of those tours that we did. So on the hop on, hop off kind of bus thing. So these, you could sit down here, or you could climb this very steep spiral kind of staircase and sit up here on the top, which was cool, except man, it could be hot up there, or it could be really cold. But these were the prices for 24 hours or 48 hours and all the places that it would go. And so you could decide to go to this place right here, and you could get off. And then as long as you got back before the bus route stopped, you could get back on the bus and you could keep riding, because you paid for it. And then you have a whole, again, another map. I can't read it, but because I'm too dumb when it comes to maps. But, it shows you where the cruise ships come in. It shows you directions, and, by the time we're all done, I've kind of figured out where I am, but so it will go into into my map stack here. Let's see. These were the two guys that took care of our room, Yu and June. Good guys. They were both from Indonesia, and they could not have been better. They could not have been nicer. And so I made sure that I grabbed one of their cards. This was, I don't know what this was from. I think this was from one of the hotels that we stayed in someplace. You know, but sometimes they just do some kind of cool things. So whether I use that key card, which is kind of pointless, I'll probably keep and use this little, this little thing. You know, because you can, right? So I'll put my key cards together. You had to have a boarding pass to get on the ship. There were a lot of boarding passes. One to get on the ship, one to get on the thing, and another thing to get on. Yep. So you had to make sure that you had boarding passes for the ship and boarding passes for the airplanes and blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you, it was too much stress. Too much stress. More maps. More pointless maps for Barb. That's okay. Map section. Here's another one. Another map. Let's see. Welcome to Timaru. These were neat places. They really were neat places to go. We didn't get to do a lot of things, but we did get to do some things. And this would be good to put in the notebook or put in my scrapbook to reduce that and put it in. Anyway, it goes in the map section. Hello, Shelley. When we got there, when we got on the ship, this was there. And there was a bottle of sparkling wine, compliments of the captain of the ship and the hotel general manager. Okay, so there was a bottle of that. And I will tell you, that was some potent stuff. That was potent. Yes, it was. Tasted really good. But it was, wow, was that packed a punch, people. That packed a punch. You got to be careful with that kind of stuff. Some other things that I like to include and, keep and all of that were things like these bags. This was that post office that I was telling you about, where they had all of these greeting cards and toys, and I mean it was the strangest small post office I had ever been in. Just because it's so different than it is here, and so that will go with my background bag type of things. This was a cool little thing. This is how they would bring you silverware in different places. The silverware is very hard to eat from, but it was cool. But these little pockets like this are pretty neat. So I thought, okay, I should keep those because, by the way, I think I showed you guys these. I saved several of these. Not that I need all of them, but it's just, okay, who keeps stuff like this? Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was kind of neat, so I hung on to that. Yeah, this was a gift. This was where you could, you would get gift certificates or coupons for different things. So I could save $250 on jewelry. Okay. If you're going to save $250 on jewelry, do you have any idea how much that jewelry would cost? I didn't even go in the jewelry store. No, didn't even go in there. So that was not my thing. That isn't my thing. This was laundry. They would have you let you do laundry on the ship. This is a funny story. We did this twice. They had a laundry bag. It was small. It wasn't very big. You could cram a lot of laundry into that laundry bag if you folded it and, wedged it in there properly. Hello, Missy Lulu. You guys keep things like that. I'm glad I'm not the only one. And so anyway, you could stuff a whole bunch of stuff. As much stuff as you could get in that bag, they would take, and they would do the laundry for you. And then you had to fill out this piece of paper with how many things you had on here. Okay. The interesting thing about this was when we got to the socks, we had 10.5 pairs of socks. You know why? Because one of the socks disappeared. So we had 10.5 pairs of socks one time. We had 4.5 pairs the other time. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so you would put it outside your room, and then they would take it and they would launder it and fold it up and bring it back. And I don't know why, but I was fascinated with that, I guess. Hi, Vale. Good for texture. Yep, I should keep one of those for add to my jelly plate stuff, right? Okay, yeah, so laundry, 10.5 pairs of socks. Yep. And so while we were there, I convinced the Studley Duck to try on a pair of Ugg. I don't have Uggs, but he likes to wear moccasins, you know, like a slipper type thing. And so he did, and he was going to throw this away. He was going to throw this away, you guys. He was going to throw it away. Yep. Well, we cannot have that. We cannot have that. Hi, Jan. Yes, I do realize, Jan. I do. He revealed himself a few weeks ago. Anyway, so he bought himself a pair of Ugg moccasin slippers. And I got the bag, which I was very happy with. And I got the tissue paper. Okay. It's a deal for me. I was very happy with that. I was very happy with that. Yeah. So some of the other things, a lot of this I kept just because it was... the shapes were unique. The way things opened was unique. So this was an invitation to a cocktail party. Oh, we went for, we had to go for a rest. We were on Bondi Beach in Sydney, and to go eat in this restaurant, you had to become a temporary member. I don't know what that's about, but anyway, everybody had to do that, so I saved that. And here we go with another map, another pointless, useless map, but this was in Burnie. Maps are totally useless for me, but they're so interesting. This is Northwest Tasmania. They're so interesting to me, but I mean, they're useless because by the time I figure out where I am, the thing's over with. You know, the trip's over. And somebody has come to find me. Oh, this was when we had ice cream for lunch one day. Yes. And so a person should keep napkins, you know. And this was something I picked up in Tasmania, which just I thought had good pictures, good words, more maps, more useless maps, good information. See, more maps. But that will go in the map section right there. And then every day on the ship, you got one of these. Every day. I guess every night we got one. And it would tell you things like what the date was. Because, for example, I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know what date it was for 3.5 weeks. I'm still not sure. Because I lost an entire month. Oh, sorry, the cat hair is still driving me crazy, you guys. I lost the entire month, and so the only way that I knew what day it was, because I left my watch, which is tied to my phone, I left it here because internet was very, very sporadic. No internet on the ship. And so I left my watch here, bought a $10 watch at Walmart, worked the whole time. It's still working, but it didn't have the date on it. I would have had to pay $20 to get one with the date on it, and I wasn't about to do that. Anyway. Anyhow, so the only way you know what day it is by the rug inside the elevator, because every night at midnight they would change the rugs with had the new day on it. But as far as the date, I didn't have a clue. So it was very helpful to have this that they would put out in the room every night. So it would give you the date. It would tell you what the dress was for dinner that night. I was really glad when the dressy nights were done. It would tell you where you were, and it would tell you what was going to happen, and how much things were going to cost, and it would tell you the highlights on the ship. So like there was Tai Chi, there was all of these exercise things you could do, which I didn't do any of. And then if there was any special food kind of thing that, like this was a seafood boil. We didn't do that, but you could if you wanted to. Game night, permission to dance. So there were all those kinds of things that you could do on the ship if you didn't want to do something else. And then there was always the schedule starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. You could walk a mile, you could do sunrise stretch, you could do an abs class, you could do Tai Chi, you could do yoga. See, you guys, you could do crosswords and number puzzles. You could play cornhole. You could play pickleball. Okay, how many of you want to go on a cruise to do all that? Not me. Coffee really is disgusting, by the way, in case you were wondering. You could meet for mahjong. I don't know how to play it. Probably that's not the right name for it. Trivia. You could do a health seminar to improve your posture. You could learn origami. They did have an origami thing pretty much every day. Party bridge. Then they would have a movie in the big, what's called the world stage. It's like their main auditorium. They had a movie. Any of you have seen the Barbie movie? I watched some of it. I did not find it entertaining at all. Some people, I think it's a love-hate thing. You either love it or you hate it. They had coloring for adults in one of the places. Trivia. I don't know what this is. Damn dots. I never did figure that out. Basketball free throw challenge. Clearly, I didn't do any of that. Then they had galleries, art galleries. Okay, so you could guess the price of the painting. I didn't do that either. Uniquely Yours exhibition. I don't even know what that was, but that was both. Those were in the art galleries. And then they had a pain management workshop in the fitness center. Didn't do that. They had mass. Didn't do that. They had, I don't know what this is, Tour de Cycle. I don't know what that is. Didn't do that. And then they played soccer for teens, but there weren't any teens on the ship. Then they showed other things like seafood boil, sit and stitch. Didn't do that. I don't know what they did there. Then they had Friends of Bill W. Never did figure out who Bill W. was, but they had his friends had a place to meet. You could have a casual portrait taken. They took your picture all the time. Then they had an evening stretch. I didn't do that ever. Music trivia. I did do that one night. That was kind of fun. If you knew much about popular music, which I don't, but it was still fun to go to. So let's see. Other thing, it just gives, the whole point of this is it gave you the whole, all the opportunities that were there. And then that night's entertainment. This is where the kids were, that we call them kids. They were in their late 20s, early 30s, late 20s probably, kids that did the music every night, which were really good with the pianos. Very good, very entertaining. And so then the different options that you have for dinner and stuff. Anyway, there was one of these every day. So there was a whole bunch of these, obviously. But I just kept one of them, and I probably will reduce that. Yeah, but there are plenty of opportunities for exercise. I walked around the ship a couple of times on the outside deck. I was not there to exercise. I wasn't. So, anyway. Yeah, so I kind of have my stuff organized here a little bit. And then I have all of the pictures that I will take pictures. These were pictures that we got on the ship. So these were the kind of things that I got on the ship. So some of these were free. These were pictures that we got for buying other pictures. But honestly, if that isn't the cutest thing ever. Any cute? We did see koalas. I didn't hold any koalas, but we did see koalas in the Sydney Zoo. They are, they're just so darn cute. And this was a print of artwork, which I really liked. So I'll use this. Bill W. is Alcoholics Anonymous, meaning you don't say your whole name, just your first name. My father was not. I didn't know that. Here I am making fun of that, and I shouldn't have. Yeah, I shouldn't have. Apologies. So this, couple of pictures with the Studley duck. So probably what I will do with those is take pictures of them with my phone, so I can print them smaller to put in my book. Okay? All right. So you kind of got that, my pile O ephemera and, according to some people, junk, kind of organized in a pile. So let's, I'm still dealing with some dizziness, by the way. My head does not feel attached to my body yet. It's getting better, but wow, yeah, that has been quite the adjustment. Getting my head to come back to my shoulders. I don't quite know how it detached itself, but it has not been a super positive experience getting that to come back together again. It's working on it. Thank you for sharing that, Judy, because I had no idea. I had no clue. Okay, so this is the notebook thing that I bought. It's a graphic 45. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. And this has a pocket here. I will deal with that later. I'm going to take all of these little notebooks out. So I just decided that I was not going to take the time to make a book when I could buy one. And so that's what I did. So we're going to take these out. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this. Anyway, I'm going to take these out. We may just collage some stuff on this. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see how this develops. So here is the notebook. How did they do this? Let's see how they did this. You guys know how they do this? Well, we'll just undo it. I'll probably never get it restrung the way that they how they put it together. And you know what? It just really doesn't matter because I can string it back together any way I want, right? I'm going to give this about one chance to come apart. About one chance to come apart. If it doesn't come apart, guess what's going to happen? There you go. Okay. All right. So this came out like this. Okay, we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to take it apart, and if it comes back together the way it came apart, great. And if it doesn't, we are not sweating that. There are a lot of things in this world to worry about. This is not one of them. Okay, so what I have here, I pulled out some napkins. I like this. I like this one. Just because it had the sun on it, had a lot of bright sunshine, had some blue. I kind of like that. We may just do that. You know, this is the kind of stuff that I don't put a lot of time into worrying about. I just make a decision and then go for it, and then work my way through it. I don't know where this napkin came from. Somebody in the group probably sent it to me. And so I'm just going to use some matte medium. And if I really wanted this color to maintain all of its vibrancy, I would paint this white first, but I don't care, so it doesn't matter. And I'm going to glue right over these eyelets, and then I'll poke them back open later. So we're just going to put some matte medium on here and see what happens, people. How are you guys doing tonight? You doing okay? Hello, Jenny. Jenny, you're in Australia, right? Is that right? I know there are people here that I do have viewers from Australia and New Zealand. And if I have offended anyone by being incredibly uninformed or stupid, I apologize. Yeah, there were a few times where I went, yeah, dumb American, you know, yet again. It's never on purpose. I don't mean to, but there are times. You have an instructions for putting it back together. That's good. I may have to borrow it, Ruth. I thought hers had 2 holes. 1, 2, 1, 2. I guess that would be 4 holes. This has 3 and 3, so I don't know. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Huh? It actually doesn't matter. As long as I end up with something that I'm happy with, it doesn't really matter, does it? All right, let's do it. Western Australia. Well, I just got back from Australia and New Zealand, Jenny. All right, let's see if we can do this without screwing it up too badly. Let's see if we can get it on here somewhat. Not going to worry about too many wrinkles because you know what? Just doesn't matter. Napkins are fragile enough. I do have some special glue for napkins, but I didn't get it out, you know, because that would have required thinking ahead. It's not too crooked. That's good. It's pretty good. Okay, now, there we go. Okay, let's put some matte medium on top of it. You know, sometimes here's what happens to me. I have to just start something like this, because if I don't, I will get wound up in planning. You know, I think I've got to plan it all out before I begin. And when that happens, I end up not doing any of it. I just end up with a bag full of stuff. And then eventually I toss the bag, because I lose the momentum, I lose the concept, I just basically lose the plot. And so I determined that for this project, I was going to jump right into it, and I was going to just go for it and do it. Right? I think it's a good idea. I don't know if it's going to work, but while it's kind of fresh in my mind, I decided I was just going to go for it and do it. And then I also have, don't forget, I have kiwis on caffeine. Yes, so I have some fabric. And then this is my journal, which has all of my journaling from all the days that we did. And this is what I did on, some more mat. More ephemera, you guys. I forgot that I stuck all this in the back of my journal. So I'll have to add all of this. Whoops. I'll have to add all of this to my my pile over here. This is what I did while I was on the plane going over. I wrote some, and then I worked on this. You can see I stopped here. That was calming me down, because that was the trip over. It was much better coming back, even though we were in much less comfortable, I will say, much less comfortable conditions coming back, because we were in the back row of the plane. But I was familiar with what the plane ride was going to be. Does that make any sense? Maybe not. But going over, I'd never been on a plane that long. I don't swim. Flying over the ocean that many hours was concerning. You know, if the plane went down, I was going to die pretty fast. So that was okay. But doing the neurographic art did help calm me down, and so I appreciated that. So I worked on that several different times on the very, very, very long flight. That was a crazy experience. Now that I've done it once, it would not be as bad the next time. And it wasn't as bad coming back, although it was turbulent the entire time. It was like riding on a bumpy road the entire time coming back. But I have been on a turbulent flight before. That I have done, and I got through that. I white-knuckled my way through. This is years ago. We were on an extremely turbulent flight between Kansas City and Salt Lake City here in the States, and it was just... I mean, I just knew we were going to die. I just knew we were going to die. At any minute, we're going to die going out there. And we didn't die. I promised God all kinds of things that day. And realized that I could survive that. And so coming back from Australia, flying back, it wasn't too bad, even though it was turbulent almost the entire way. It wasn't very comfortable, but, you know, I watched lots of movies coming back, and so I kept myself entertained. These are not. The ones that I showed you from this, that goes with this folder I'm decorating, that is graphic 45. This one, which is a different size... Okay, the bigger one back here, this is a moleskin. This one, that's the one I write in all the time. And they are the Traveler's Notebook size. And this one here, they come in sets of 3. And you can get them in different configurations. I like the ones that have lines. You can also get like graphed. Is it graph? Yeah, squares. You know, it's graph paper. You can get that, or you can get dot grid in that. But these, the little one, here, graph paper, see? These, like this, these are a special size that go into this notebook cover, which is from Graphic 45. So it's a different setup. So I will be transferring the Cliff Notes version of my journal, daily journal. I'll transfer that into the scrapbook type journal. Hope that makes sense. Yeah. How long was the flight? It was, I think it was 13 hours, maybe 14. I don't know. Could have been 15. I don't know. It was long. Because you lose time, you gain time, you don't know what day it is, you don't know where you are. I just know that coming back, it was so turbulent, and every time they passed by with the wine, I said, I'll have a little bit more. It's like I just need to zone out. Between the movies and the white wine, I was okay coming back. But I'll tell you what, going over there, I didn't go to the bathroom the entire time going over. I tried, but I don't know. Who knows what was wrong with me. Hello, Riri. What did Rhonda say? The first time for any experience is exciting and scary. Yep, exactly. Exciting and scary all at the same time. Yeah. What is the special glue for napkins? It is this perfect paper adhesive. Okay, perfect paper adhesive. It is I can't remember the exact phrase they use about it, but that glue was formulated for napkins and other really thin papers. And it's a really good glue without being sticky, if that makes any sense. I don't know. If you hang on just a minute, everybody just hang on a minute. Here, I'll let you look at this notebook cover. I think I can put my hand on a book to explain it. Just a minute. I think it is this book here, which is The Art of Paper Collage, Suzanne Pickering Rothamel. I don't know. Anyway, I think it was where she explained it in here with this glue. Adhesives. Okay, there it is. Perfect paper adhesive. I may have to see if I can find it in here later. I may have to find it in here and read it to you later. There's somewhere in here where she talks about this glue, or maybe it's on her YouTube channel where she talks about it and how it is, it's really good for really thin papers. And these were a bunch of the thin papers that somebody sent me one time. I'll probably have to look it up, but that's where I learned about the PPA glue, was in this book. So I'll see if I'll set this off to the side and see if I can remember to look it up. Okay, let's see if we can dry this just a little bit more, and then cut it down to size, or sand off the edges. The left side of the first page I showed. I'll see if I can. When I'm on camera and I'm thinking and I'm talking and I'm looking for things, I don't always see the things that are obvious to everybody else. You know what I mean. Yeah, it is made by US Art Quest. It's not too hard to find. My local scrapbooking mixed media store carries it, but not every store will carry it. So most of the time you're going to have to order it. But it is a really good glue, and it does, one of the things that it does is if you want to coat things like leaves, for example, like fall leaves and things like that, it will coat thin things, and it will allow them to remain flexible, which is nice. So yeah, that's a cool thing. Okay, I'm going to get my my sanding sponge. Words are hard since I've been gone. And let's sand off the edges here. It's best if you let this totally dry, really dry. This is semi-dry. And what I do is I sand at an angle like this. You don't have to use a sanding sponge, but it's nice that it's just nice and big, so it makes pretty quick work of this usually. Usually. And it helps to blend the thin paper with the edge of the chipboard. It also is kind of obnoxious to listen to, and so if this is like fingernails on the chalkboard for you, just mute until you can see that I'm done. And if you have it oozing over the edge, which happened a little bit here, then you may have to come back and, sand from both sides a little bit, and then it'll sand it off, see? Anyway, okay, let's do this and see if we can get this all done. But you have to start someplace. And like I said, if I am not watching it, I will render myself immobilized because I will feel like, oh, but I don't know what I'm going to do, so I should really plan this before I start. And the next thing you know, I don't get anything done because I spend my time planning instead of doing. And I just don't get anything accomplished if I do that. If you have nail files that they use for different kinds of, I don't know what they are, gel nails or whatever. Clearly, I don't do my fingernails, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But if you have those kinds of fingernail files, I thought maybe I could put here, like this kind of fingernail file. That will work as well. It just takes you a lot longer to do this. And you can get these in different grits. So the coarser the grit, the faster it's going to take this off. These are leftover from Clausman's tools. I have all kinds of great tools. All of them, 99% of them I don't know what to do with. And but I have them, and I have multiples of many of them. Yes. I lost count at, I don't know if it was 25 or 30 of those retractable tapes that he had. And I'm like, oh, why? But he would have asked the same question if it had been me when he went through my stuff. So there you go. Sometimes you just ask the question, and then you just shake your head and go on your merry way, right? All right, so that is the quickest way that I know of to get the edge dealt with. And if you go at this angle like this, that will blend that edge of that napkin into the chipboard of the cover. And then I usually come back with ink, and I'll ink the edge there all the way around the edge, and that just kind of finishes it up. And then I may do something else later to make it finished even more, or not. I may not do anything at all. But it will give us a place to start from. And then you can clearly see where the eyelets are. Once that dries, I will poke those out and clear the holes. And so that will give us a place to begin. And it looks pretty good. It didn't turn out too badly. Yeah, I kind of like that. And I like the upside down and the right side up. I like this image where it looks like a whole face, but then it also looks like half a face. So the full face and the profile. Anyway, so there you go. We have a place to begin, and we have notebooks. And so I need to cover these as well, but I may use some of the maps and things because maps are useless. Somebody that loves maps is going to collar me on that. I had a comment the other day from somebody. Every once in a while, comments just amaze me. I had somebody... Okay, understand that YouTube is free, right? In case any of you didn't know, I know you can do subscriptions, paid subscriptions and stuff on YouTube. My channel is not a pay-for channel. My channel is totally free. And I had somebody that left a comment that, well, every time whoever it was, every time they came back to check, there weren't any new videos. And it was, I don't know if they were disgusted with me or if I just took it that way. It could have just been me interpreting it as being that this person was disgusted with me for not having any new videos for 2 years. And I thought, man, I have been streaming twice a week for the last 2 years. I did miss 2021. I did miss pretty much all of 2021 streaming, but I thought, oh well, too bad, so sad. You know, c'est la vie. Things happen. And I thought, it's interesting how something that's free, people can sometimes get real disgusted with you because you let them down and you don't meet their expectations. So for any of you that I've let down and have not met your expectations, I apologize. Moving on. I know. Yep, they have to click on the live tab. But you know what? If people are not sharp enough to click around on the different tabs, there's not much I can do about it. Right? All right, you guys, I have my pile of goodies right here that I've got semi-organized, except for the last little bit that I just pulled out of my, out of the back folder of my journal, my writing journal. I have my pile of things that we kind of organized as we went. I have this little bit here to finish organizing, and it's, most of this is stuff like this. It's tags. So this was a tag that came off of this. I bought this on the ship. Maker's Gonna Make. This was on there. It was on the cruise ship. And I thought that it was a cool tag. This was, what was this from? Oh, this was from the airplane. It was around the utensils. This I picked up just because it was neat. This was, again, I think this was, oh, this was a place where we had fish and chips. And I just thought I like stuff like this, you know, bags, and you can always, I can cut it down or whatever and use. This is probably another map. Oh, this was when we went through the fjords in New Zealand. One of the most stunningly beautiful things I have ever seen in my life, which had the worst bugs, the worst biting bugs ever. Chocolate dipped strawberries, that was a gift that was sent to us at our cabin. And then this was from a coffee sleeve. It's a Knightsbridge Zentangle pattern. I like that. But first, coffee. A couple more boarding passes. Sorry, guys. Man, that cat turned loose of some cat hair, man. He did. This is another one of those bus line things. This was another map. I think I have two of these, so I can cut one of them up. And this was, what was this? Oh, this was the Sydney Zoo. Yeah, so this was the zoo that we never could figure out where we were. And that's a very simple map, but we couldn't figure out where we were. And we were late getting back to the bus, and the bus driver was very upset with us. And so I got two of those. So I have those little things to add into my stuff. So that will go there. I know. We were a grave disappointment to our bus driver that day. Evelyn's last post. Okay, well, whose post? Wait a minute. Whose last post? Evelyn. I don't see it. I don't see it, Evelyn. Sorry, I'm not seeing it. I'm scrolling back, but I didn't see it. Anyway, if I said anything, that was offensive, don't pay any attention to me. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings or be offensive. Sometimes I'm just a goofball. The cat hair, honestly. He was only on my lap for about 10-15 minutes, and he just upset my sneezer. He upset my sneezer. Hello, Amber. Anyway, okay, any other questions from anybody? I think this is going to work out really well. We flew back from Sydney where it was very hot. And so my last memory of Australia was very hot Sydney. And so that sun was brutal. On one of the parts of the bus tour that we were on, one of them, I don't know which one, we went by a school and all the kids had on uniforms, and every one of those kids had on a hat. And I thought, wow, they understand how brutal this sun is. That was crazy. That sun was crazy. And I got burnt to a crispy critter a couple times. Concerned about the neuro symptoms. Which neuro symptoms? The ones where I'm going, that one? Oh yeah, I'm highly allergic to cats. When the hair starts flying, I'm very allergic to it. I'm allergic to the dander. Doesn't stop me from having them at all. I just try really hard not to touch my face. Sometimes if I ever make the mistake of touching my face or touching around my eyes, I can really get myself going. Then. My eyes will swell up and they get red and they look awful and I sneeze and my eyes water. It's lovely. It's a vision of loveliness, people. It's a vision. I'm just a vision, that's all. Doesn't stop me. Nah, doesn't stop me. All right, you guys, I know we didn't do a whole lot tonight. Yeah, it does have pockets, and the pockets inside these, inside this cover, the worst part about these pockets, when they don't give you any depth in the pockets, you can only put like one little thing in, you know. If they give you a little bit of depth in these pockets, it makes them a lot nicer. These little journal covers, these I find, this kind of slot, it's not really a slot pocket, but slip pocket like this, even though it doesn't have much depth in it, I find those a little easier to use to put things in. You can slip things down in them, as opposed to these, which are really cute. You know, these little pockets like this are super cute. Let me find something to put in here. Anyway, okay, we'll just use these. So, you know, they're really cute for putting things in, but they're not, I don't find them to be as usable or as user-friendly. Thank you. So, anyway, so I tend to like these, you know, more of a folder style pocket, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's that, Evelyn. It is that. It is all of that. It's getting better, though, fortunately. And my sleep schedule is still so wacky. Golly, it's wacky, you know? There are sometimes, because it's the opposite, you adjust to the opposite time of day of sleeping and being awake. And then you got to adjust again coming home. And so I mean, like this afternoon, I slept like I was completely out for, I think, an hour and a half, like totally out. And then I'll wake up at 2:30 or 3 in the morning and be wide awake for a while. Then by the time I go back to sleep, it's time to get up, you know? It's a real, yeah, we should all have such problems, shouldn't we? Okay, I will be back on Friday. Thank you for hanging out with me and helping me do this. I think it's going to be okay. And we'll see what I can manage to do inside. Maybe I'll just paint the inside of it. I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. We're just going to make it up as we go along. Does that sound okay? We'll see what happens. I'm going to go. I need to get a bite to eat and spend some time with Chance. He's been very good the last hour. He was a pain in the neck the hour before that, but he's been good for an hour, so he deserves to have some time with his mom. And I will see you. The worst casualty that happened while I was gone was Miss Muppet, the dog, tripped coming up the deck, onto the deck apparently, and ripped a toenail off. And the girl that was taking care of her had to take her to the vet. She kind of panicked a little bit, and that's okay. Took her to the vet because she was bleeding and so forth. But I'm happy to report that the dog is okay. That was the worst thing that happened while I was gone. So it was okay. Yeah, poor thing. Anyway, things happen while Mom's gone. You know that. All right, I will see you Friday. I will be back here at 2 Eastern, right? Yeah. And we'll continue on with this project. Now that I have it kind of organized, we'll kind of see where it goes. I'll see if I can get my pictures, a bunch of pictures printed out by then. And I will see you then, and I hope you guys have a great week. And thanks for hanging out with me and listening to my adventure as I went on the other side of the world. I went upside down, and I came back to right side up, I think. Now, if my head will just reconnect and discover that it's on my shoulders and I didn't leave it down under, it's all going to be good. I will see you Friday. Until then, remember to get creative today, because you know it's easy, and I'll see you before you know it. Bye for now.